So, League de Nutz is certainly open for business. Welcome to Draft Day 2019. I'm psyched. I'm your commissioner, Matt Nutz Levine, as we get ready for our 11th draft in League de Nutz history. 9:30 tonight, Eastern Time, and I know you're fired up as well. So let's do a little mock draft for LDN. Highlight picks 1 through 12, and I'll kind of do it this way. Each franchise with their pick, in order. I'll tell you about last year's finish. I'll tell you who their top pick was in the draft last year, who I thought was their worst or most unpredictable pick in the draft last year. I'll project this year's draft pick, and I'll give you some of their League de Nutz historical highlights and some of their best moments in LDN. So let's get this party started, as they'd say at the Boston Harbor. So last year, for yours truly, the Nutztown Destroyers, who owned the top pick of this year's draft, it was a season 2 forget. 6 and 7. I loved my first round pick, one of my favorites, DeAndre Hopkins, 10th overall. My worst pick, Derrick Henry, no question about that. I needed him prior to week 14, nowhere to be found. A little too late when week 14 through week 16, he was arguably the best running back in the NFL. That was when I was getting ready for the offseason. He, along with Dion Lewis, his teammate, screwed the old Nutztown Destroyers. Now, my projected pick for this year's draft, it's simple. Do I have to say anything else but number 26? My head is certainly into picking number 26. 99.9% chance I probably will. Is my heart into picking another player? The only one would be the guy I told you about I took first last year. Anyway, my big League de Nutz highlight, plural, would be my runner-up finish in 2017. Up and down season, went on a run late. Made a big run, a big charge, but came up short to Suck for Sam / Dinglings, who knocked me out. But I finished in the money, and that was my best moment in League de Nutz. Okay, the second pick in the draft belongs to a rookie, Joe V, a.k.a. Ozone. By the way, he's got to name his team. Last year, the year before, picks, no historical perspective whatsoever. All I can do is project his pick this year. Can't tell you again, his nickname is Ozone. The guy's been known to frequent Filiberto's, one in the Southwest. Filiberto's is the bomb. Been known to love the 3-rolled tacos. But that's a story for a different day. Who will he pick? Holy guacamole. How about this? My projection. Zeke. Looks like Jerry's going to pony up and cough up the ducats for Zeke. So I have Ezekiel Elliott falling to Joe V, a.k.a. Ozone, with the second pick. Now, Yonkers, the Shotgunners, have the third pick in the draft. Last year, for Yonkers, a good one. They're the Haganah champs, 7 and 4. Lost in the first round of the playoffs to the eventual champs, Lights Kamara Action. First pick, a good one, Gurley. Although, we know he kind of slowed down late in the season. Worst pick, Allen Robinson. Loves A-Rob from the U. But A-Rob really never got cooking as a top-flight receiver last year. Projected pick. Tricky guy, Yonkers. You don't know what he's going to do. If he even keeps the pick, known to wheel, known to deal. Something tells me he's going to want an active running back. I think Kamara from Lights Kamara Action last year goes by way of Yonkers, New York this year and becomes the third pick for those Yonkers Shotgunners. How about that? Now, the fourth pick in the League de Nutz draft belongs to another rookie, Joe R. No historical perspective. What can I tell you about Joe? When it comes to sports fans, Joe's about one of the most knowledgeable out there. Always has strong opinions. A suffering Ets fan on the Mets side. Makes it up, though, by being a Giants fan. But that does tell you anything. How is he going to do on League of Nuts' turf this year as a rookie player in the league? No. But I think Joe wants a guy who's going to carry the ball a lot. And he's going to catch the ball a lot. And he's going to be an integral part of an offense with some playmakers down in Carolina. So with that said, I would not be surprised to see Mr. McCaffrey, Christian McCaffrey, selected number 4 by the rookie, Joe R. Okay. 5th pick in the draft belongs to the champ, Lights Kamara Action. What can I say? The rookie came in. That other rookie runner-up who's no longer in the league played him in the title game. And Lights Kamara Action won the Rookie Bowl. Was happy for the guy. And you know what? He has the cojones to come back, man up, put his title on the line, and try to repeat as champion. I love that. So he has a 5th pick. Last year with the 1st pick, obviously, the team is named after the guy who was so integral. Just talked about him in his success. That was Kamara from the Saints. 7th overall. Worst pick, not too many, but Kenyon Drake in the 3rd round. Kenyon Drake never really became the pure one back for the Dolphins last year. Kind of a 1A with Frank Gore. Had some moments. Projected pick. I said Yonkers is going to grab his boy Kamara this year. So I think there's a couple guys out there. If Joe R., the rookie, does not grab McCaffrey 4th, I think McCaffrey could fall to Lights Kamara. And we could have, what would that be? McCaffrey Action? Lights Kamara Action. Nah, has to become a new name. Lights McCaffrey Action. Doesn't sound right. Okay, but it could be somewhere in the line of McCaffrey or a Bell or maybe a Gurley. Because I think Lights Kamara Action wants to have that versatile running back in there early on as a 1st pick and do what he did last year. Set the table, build a foundation. So with that said, and I'm going with my projections here, that Joe R. at number 4 gets McCaffrey. I'm going to say Bell falls into Lights Kamara Action's lap at number 5. He comes back to football, and he should be dynamite with the Jets. I have a feeling he goes off. I really do. Okay, number 6, Dinglings. The champ in 2017 last year, 7-6. Good enough to make the playoffs. Lost the opener in the playoffs to Smash, who I'll talk about a couple of picks from now. 1st pick last year was Michael Thomas with the 11th. Worst pick, Chris Hogan in the 4th round. Averaged 6.8 a game for the Patriots. Never really a superstar by any means, but at the time it made sense. I understood that. Projected pick. Interesting. I think there's a lot of talent out here, but I think it's kind of obvious. You could have a Gurley here. You could have an Adams. But last year, Michael Thomas worked out pretty well for Dinglings, who is actually sucked for Sam nowadays. But back in the day, it was Dinglings, and kind of that's how I always remember him. So with that said, I think Michael Thomas goes back to Dinglings in round 1 at pick number 6 for the 2nd straight year. 7th pick in the draft belongs to Loopy. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention this. Dinglings, right? I think I did mention actually. League of Nuts highlight, no doubt about it. I did mention it before. 2017 championship, that's right, when he knocked off yours truly. Loopy, the Legends. Last year, not so legendary. With the 7th pick in this year's draft, they're hoping to better last year's finish at 6-7, no playoffs. Had the first pick and selected OBJ. Worst pick, Shady McCoy in the 3rd round. Shady McCoy, shadow of himself. Last year, just cut by the Bills, right? Projection for Loopy at number 7. I think Loopy needs a playmaker, and I think it's going to be too hard to pass up Todd Gurley right there. Talk about falling in your lap. I think Loopy gladly snatches Gurley, never looks back. Loopy's biggest moment, League of Nutz champ. 2nd and 3rd season, back-to-back, 2011, 2012. Now, pick number 8 belongs to Thielen Groovy. Okay. The good thing about Thielen Groovy is not only did they have the 8th pick, but they named their team after Adam Thielen last year. We may have a chance for him this year. Let's talk about that in a moment. So last year, the first pick, though, was actually David Johnson Jr. Worst pick, 2nd pick, Gronk. Go figure, right? A beat up and kind of an older shell of himself, Gronk. Last year, hard to imagine, though, he only had 1 game with 100 yards and 2 games with touchdowns. So it was not the same Gronk last year we all have grown to love. Who do I project this year for Thielen Groovy to be their first pick at 8 overall? Now, Adam Thielen will be out there. I can see Thielen Groovy wanting to justify keeping the team's name and grabbing a player that's as good as Thielen, even though he's not projected quite to be in the first round. Or I could see Thielen Groovy actually grabbing the best player. So I think he's a smart enough guy to see the value in Davante Adams and make him his 8th pick overall. Best historical moment finish for Thielen Groovy when he was named Bo Hickey, his team. Runner-up in 2016, his rookie year in League of Nutz. Pretty impressive. Smash you. Interesting. Muy interesante. Number 9 pick for the always intriguing Smash, who does some good, bad, and ugly in this league. Last year, a good one. 8-5. Lost in the 2nd round of the playoffs. Kind of ran out of steam. First pick, a good one. 8th overall, took Zeke. Worst pick, no doubt about it. Rex Burkhardt in the 7th round. Never really panned out to be that Bill Belichick go-to back. Projection on this year's first-round pick. Wow, this one. Again, muy interesante. I just like saying that. There are some players out there for him at number 9 that I think are going to be open to taking. Are going to be available, I should say. I think DeAndre's out there. Julio's out there. Melvin Gordon will be out there, to name 3. Who do I see Smash taking? I think Smash loves Julio. I do. I think that's who Smash is going to go to. I can't blame him. I love Julio too. So at number 9, I think Smash takes Julio Jones, leaving our good old friend Keldar at number 10. Last year, one to forget, 3-10. Oof. It was so shocking that Keldar was left speechless at the end of the season. I think he's recovered. 10th pick. He loves that 10 again. So, Keldar, last year, interestingly enough, with that 3-10 record, one of 5 teams to have over 2,000 points. Scored enough points to be playoff worthy. Didn't translate in the win and loss column. First pick, an outstanding one. Saquon did everything and more. Earned his first round selection, 5th overall. Not only a great rookie, just a great football player. Pro Bowler, All-Pro, Rookie of the Year, so on and so forth. Worst pick, Alex Collins. 3rd round. Wound up being part of a running back / quarterback by committee in a crazy run game in Baltimore. Never really became that stud running back because of the diversity in Baltimore. Projected pick this year for Keldar. Going to be interesting. Some of the dudes I mentioned for Smash are going to be around, right? DeAndre Hopkins. Odell Beckham Jr. Suddenly I see a Travis Kelce come into the mix there at number 10. Keldar could go on a lurch here and do something a little wild, a little wacky. But I think when it comes down to it, I think he has the intelligence enough to take the best player available, and that is, again, my friend DeAndre Hopkins. Goes to Keldar. Or is it quad 4 or 4th quad or something like that? At number 10. Polk High School. Oh, and by the way, I keep on forgetting this. Smash U, his best historic moment in, got to rewind, in League de Nutz in 2016. He was the champ. Keldar had 2 league, Smash won in 2015. Keldar had 2 league championships, 1 in 16, 1 in 13. Talk about some history made in League de Nutz. Polk has done that. First, let's talk about last year. Great year. 11-2. Has the 11th pick this year. His first pick last year, Kareem Hunt. 12th in the first round. Great pick. We all know what happened. Can't blame Polk. Worst pick, or most unproductive, Demaryius Thomas. Also one of those guys like Shady McCoy, let go by the Patriots. Took him last year in round 4. Never really was the kind of player that he once was in Denver with the Texans, now cut by the Patriots. My projected first round pick for Polk High School. Well, you got a couple of guys out there. I mentioned Kelce. You got OBJ, Melvin Gordon. I think Tyreek Hill starts coming into the mix here. Maybe even throw Antonio Brown. His frostbitten feet and the helmet in the mix. What does Polk High do? Very interesting. I think in the end, I think Polk is going to go at the tight end. The most productive tight end in football, as good as any receiver on any given Sunday, as good as any football player on any Sunday, fantasy or reality. Travis Kelce to Polk High School, number 11 in round number 1 in League de Nutz. And finally, as I mentioned this, Polk High School, his historic moment in League de Nutz, another one of these 2-time champs. 2009 and in 2012. Our first ever League de Nutz champion. He's got 2 titles, 2 trophies at home. Look at those beautiful trophies right there. The League de Nutz Cup. Someone's getting that this year. Finally, we talk about Antonio Brown's painted helmet. Last year, when they were Sheriff Clark's fake medals, they went 3-10. Horrible season. It was predicated with a first round draft pick that would come to haunt Sheriff Clark's fake medals in 18. Le'Veon Bell, the Bell curse. First pick, 4th overall. That also is the worst pick for Sheriff Clark's fake medals last year. So he's the one team that had his first round pick be his worst pick. And at least according to my opinion. So it was a disastrous 18, but we get to turn the page and start over in 19. So who do I think AB's painted helmet will take? Well, we've got some of the suspects we mentioned. I think Kelsey's going to be gone by then. But you've got some players like AB himself out there. You still may have Odell, Melvin Gordon, who I mentioned. Tyreek Hill comes into the conversation. I think OBJ becomes the last player taken in round number 1 at 12 for AB's painted helmet. So there you have it. Right there, picks 1 through 12. My mock draft for League D Nutz. And by the way, best historic moment for AB's painted helmet. Well, I had to go back through the record books here. Never a 1, 2, or 3 finish for AB's painted helmet. But what the guy does lead what category he does lead League D Nutz in all time? The highlight. The most name changes. I mentioned last year, Sheriff Clark's fake medals. This year, AB's painted helmet. When he first started in the league, he was Blue Light Specials. Has had 10 name changes so far in 11 years. How about that? Anyway, I'm looking forward to the draft tonight. It should be a great season. So get ready for 2019 League D Nutz. Get fired up. The draft's tonight. And we've got, by the way, 14 weeks this year to look forward to. A couple of notes. I extended the season 1 more year. The first 10 years of the league, we went 13. I figured, you know what? Let's get some more bang for a buck. The parity has been there. Let's move it out 1 more week. So we go 14 weeks. Also, we can get this out of the way. The money. We have a situation collecting last year. I'm not one of these guys to say I'm going to freeze rosters, or, hardline you, highlight names of the people that didn't pay and the ones that did, and just be a dick. I'm not going to do that. The ball's in your court, but please, I'm asking you, get the money in as soon as possible so I can pay the winners and runner-up respectively. That's the only thing I want to do is getting the money to be able to pay it out. Unless it's a pain in the ass on my end. So pay up as soon as possible. We can do the Venmo, the way I paid last year's winner. We can do, I think that's what it's called. I don't know. Whatever, you know what it's called. Maybe you don't. PayPal, we can do check. We can work it out. Hit me up on an email, text me if you want to send pennies in a big old UPS box. Don't get any ideas, Polk. But we can work something out payment-wise. But please find a way to get the money in as quick as possible. Let's just get that out of the way. I'm leaving it in your hands. We're all adults. I'm not going to pressure anyone. Not going to be, again, an a-hole about it. I'm just going to ask you to do the right thing and pay as soon as possible. With that said, I hope you enjoyed the mock draft. Let's get ready for the draft tonight and see where these selections fall in place. Good luck in tonight's League D Nutz draft. 9:30 Eastern. Be there or be square. Adios.